We saw Vincent Kompany back in training with the squad earlier on this week. Is he coming along okay, or has he got another problem?
Well, both of them, Kompany and Mangala, start working partial with the squad. Unfortunately for Mangala, he has another injury, so he cannot be for the next couple of weeks. Kompany is working well, so I hope that next week that we have the complete week to work, he will work with the squad.
Obviously, you surprised everybody on Monday with this announcement that you will be leaving at the end of this season. But now that it is out there, is that some kind of a relief for you?
No, not as a relief. I think it's important. It was important for everyone to know that I was knowing what happening and not that everyone was talking behind me. So that for me is important, but that's the last thing that I will talk about that, because we are in this season. We have a lot of things for fighting. So it's very important, as I said, after that, to be focused now in what we must do in this season and not thinking about the next one.
So has it been difficult for you, because of that, to work knowing that all this has been going on?
No, I repeat what I just said about the future. I'm not talking about different things, because that is the way to think about the future. We are talking about the present.
So you haven't given any thought to your future and what that might be?
Not any thought. Just ask me about the team, the game, and you have the answer.
And are you happy that the players are happy to do that as well, to carry on and just consider what is happening in the moment?
I think that the players must be always thinking about the next game, because it's the only way to be successful. Not thinking, you never know what will happen in the future. With the news or without the news, things in football change so quickly that as another clubs, maybe especially Chelsea, that won all the last game, the last season, today is absolutely different what happened in that club or in every club. So I think that the most important for the player, they must know that they must win the next game, and that is why we are thinking just in Leicester.
And has it made you happy just to see how much support you've had from the supporters here?
Very happy, yes. I think it's support. It's not just because they knew what will happen next season. I felt that support the 2.5 years that the 2.5 season that I am here, because I think that we play an attractive football, that fans enjoy, that we are winning titles, that we are fighting always for all the different championship, and we are always try to be a scoring team. That's why I think that they delight also the football that we practice.
And as we know, you are still going strong in all 4 competitions. How worried are you by the fixture problems that you might have, particularly surrounding this FA Cup game with Chelsea?
Very worried for a lot of things. First of all, if we have to play against Chelsea on Sunday, we will not play with our team. We will play with a young team, because we have to travel to Ukraine on Monday. I don't see any reason why we cannot play on Saturday. Chelsea play on Tuesday before they play the Champions League. So if we had to play on Sunday in the afternoon, well, it's a competition that we will see which player we are going to play.
Do you feel because of that whether you're not getting enough support from the football authorities to try and help you, not only in the FA Cup but also in the Champions League?
I don't want to analyze. I think that if we have to play against Chelsea that played 4 days before, the logical is to play on Saturday. For different reasons, they are putting on Sunday, where maybe our interests are more important than Manchester City interest. But I think that for me, I must do what I think is better for the club, and I think that's better to try to play with the most strongest team, the Champions League. Because also if you continue FA Cup, you have to postpone 2 or 3 games. After that, we don't have any option to play in those games during the midweek. So we'll see first which day we are going to play the FA Cup, but before that we have to play against Leicester, against Tottenham. There are 2 teams that are fighting also for the title. So we'll see after that when we finish those games, we'll see what we do with the FA Cup.
And in terms of Leicester, how impressed or even surprised perhaps have you been at just how well they've managed to play this season and keep that challenge going for the Premier League title?
Well, I think that Leicester started last season playing very well. If you see the last, I don't know if 8 or 9 games of the last season, they won 7 and they drew 2. They started with players playing with a high trust and know what they can do, and they continue This season, maybe at the beginning, can be a surprise. I don't think that now it's a surprise. They have players in a very high performance. They have a team that work together. They have very good and experienced manager. So I think that they will be involved in the title till the end. Now we have the option to play against them here at home. I hope that we can win that game, at least to close the gap, and continue fighting with Leicester and with other teams who will be the champion this year.
Manuel, going back to Monday, can I ask what the reaction was amongst the players
No.
when you made your announcement?
I repeat, I don't talk anymore about that.
And have you spoken to Pep Guardiola in the meantime?
I repeat, I just answer about Manchester City, the games and the players.
Okay, talking about the game this weekend then, is this the biggest game of your season so far?
No, I don't think. Because we can win this game or we can lose this game and we will not finish the Premier League here. After that, you have to play 13 or 14 more games, so you have 13 games more, 39 points, you have a lot of points, so you cannot think because you win, you are the champion, and if you lose that game, you have a lot of things, a lot of points more to fight for now till the end of the season. It's a good game, it's our option to close that gap, but nothing more.
Obviously, in terms of the title race, the 4 teams are in the top 4 at the moment. You've got the most recent experience of winning the league. How vital will that be in matches like tomorrow and in the title running when teams like Leicester haven't been in this position before, Tottenham haven't, Arsenal not as much as you either?
No, I think that the 4 teams or the 5 teams, I think that we must include also Manchester United, because I repeat, playing, and West Ham also. If we have 42 points more to play, they can be also fighting for the title. So I don't think it's just 4 teams. All of them have different reasons why they can win the title, for experience, for motivation, for different things, for performance, that for me is the most important thing. I think that all the teams have the same options.
Claudio Ranieri says there's no pressure on Leicester. Do you agree with that?
I don't know what happened in Leicester. I am sure that the players, every football player, they will continue thinking. If we did it for 25, 26 games, we can do it for the rest of the season. So I hope that I suppose that they will continue with a winning mind. I don't think that they are happy just to finish here.
Do you think that they're capable of carrying on with a relatively small squad that they have and stay where they are in the table to the end of the season, more or less?
No, I think that they have a very good squad, that they have not many players injured. That's why it's important for them to continue playing with the same team. That maybe they have less games than other teams, but I think that the merit of that squad we cannot minus, because it's really important.
Has Jamie Vardy surprised you?
Who?
Jamie Vardy?
I don't think it's a surprise. Maybe at the beginning of the season, yes, but seeing the goals that he scored, the amount of goals and the quality of his finishing, it's a surprise that he's so not old in his career, but with a lot of experience that he didn't before. But he has 3 or 4 more years, and I hope for him that he will continue the same performance.
And just a word about Vincent, obviously back, getting involved again with the squad. Have you had a medical report about the calf and exactly what the problem was, and is it now basically on the mend?
Yes, we know exactly what happened, what was the injury or the muscle injury, but the risk for the future for Vincent, for every player, exactly the same. The muscle injury, you cannot know why happens. You must try to find different things, but you are not sure always why is the reason. It's important now for Vincent to start playing again, because in this moment we have just 14 players. It's not too many players to play so many games.
And finally, there's been a lot of Chinese investment in terms of buying players. Was there any recent interest in any of your players from China?
Really, it's important to see how it's growing, the football in China, but for the moment, I think that our players want to stay here.
Hi. Can I just ask you how impressed you've been with Leicester, given the differences in finances between the 2 clubs?
Sorry?
Given the limited finances that Leicester City have had, how impressed have you been? Does that make it all the more impressive?
No, I think that in football, not only the financial thing is the most important thing. Normally, yes, because you must buy good players. You want to be involved in the title. But I always said when we start the season, when you ask me which are the teams that can be involved in the title, I always said the big team always. But every year you have a surprise. I think that Leicester is, as I just said, is a team that play very well, that are all of them thinking and doing the same thing at the same moment. So that things a lot of time can equalize the financial of the different financial of those clubs. Not only our club, of United, Arsenal, all the other teams.
Can you compare it to anything that you've done in your past as a manager? Getting the best out of players with limited finances?
I'm not saying I don't know if we can compare, but of course what we did in Villarreal was, I don't know, similar, but we played semi-final champion, we are second in the league during 5 years, but I don't think it's the same situation, one team with the other one, but it's important for the football that sometimes these teams appears in this kind of thing.
What has impressed you the most about Leicester City?
Well, the trust in what they do during the game. They maybe it's not a team that has a lot of possession, or they don't want to play as a big team, but they defend very well with a lot of concentration. They have fast play in counter attack, and they believe absolutely in the way they play. So when you, as a manager, can have the commitment of the players in your way of managing, I think that's the most important thing for the team.
Can I just ask you how important the next 2 weekends are? Because next weekend, all 4 in the top 4 are playing each other. Do you think this will be a defining fortnight in the Premier League?
No, but will be a very important week, especially because we had to play after Leicester against Tottenham, and the same week play Arsenal-Leicester. But I just said that after that we will have another 12 games to play, 36 points, a lot of points. So I don't think that will be a crucial week, but it's important for the teams that are involved to try to win the games when you play with each other.
Just a couple of quick questions, just to clarify on the injury situation. Jesus Navas appeared to pull a hamstring when he came off. Is that the problem? And if it is, how long is he out for?
Yes, it's a muscle injury in his hamstring.
So is he likely to be out for 3 or 4 weeks? Is that
minimum 3 weeks, yes.
The other question is about Wilfried Bony. He's not played now for a month. Obviously, when he first got the injury, it was thought it might be a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, and it seems to have dragged on. Is it a major problem?
Yes, it is because, as you said, we didn't expect that was going to be so long. But I hope that we'll see next Monday the medical report. But I think that this last week he's improving a lot. I hope that next week he will start working. And
what is the injury?
It's a bone problem. It's an inflammation of the bone. So for different reasons, that bone continues that bone continue giving a lot of pain to Bony. So we'll see if the next week for different treatment he will improve.
Manuel, you mentioned about China before. We're used to Europe being the main centre for football in South America. Do you ever see a time where China takes over? If they want to put the money in, can you see a point where they take over world football?
Well, not only is money in football. I remember that a lot of years ago the United States tried to take the most important player. For different reasons they couldn't do it. But I think that will be an option in the future for players. We'll see how the way the Chinese receive football and in the way they grow. Not just growing, not just buying players. I think there's a lot of things around the football that you must do it if you want to be a potential in football. But of course, it's a very interesting country. And football has this thing. If you see the last season, I was just seeing numbers. I think that Leicester from the beginning of the second round till game number 30, I think that they had 2 points in 21 points. They just have to, and after that they won 6 games in a row, and they draw 2. things that happen from one week or one day to the other one for a lot of things, but it's very difficult to understand why. But same player with the same manager with the same moment, in 1 week to another one, you change absolutely the switch and you start to be a losing team to be a winning team. If you continue this this season playing already 25 games, it's not more a surprise. They change the manager also. They have maybe another style of playing, but they continue having good players that demonstrate last season and this season what they can do. So for me, it's not more a surprise. It's the performance of the player, all of them together in the same moment.
A lot of the top clubs are obviously used to challenging against each other, so Arsenal and United and City and Chelsea. But when an unexpected club like that or Villarreal in Spain come into the challenge, does it create a different set of issues for you to be aware of? Because you know their motivation levels are going to be so high.
Well, of course, I think that the motivation for all the players is exactly the same when you want to win a title. But of course, when you are not used to be involved in that, maybe the first experience is it's different. Every manager manages in different ways. That expectation or that motivation, I think, is very important. I am sure that Leicester in this moment is thinking about that they are good players, and if they can do it for 25 games, they can do it from now till the end. And they will try to reach the one spot for Champions League next year. So I think that they deserve what they are living. But we have to play another 14 games more, so it's not finished.
And when you were at Villarreal, did you try and say to the players, this is unexpected, you are different, what you are doing is not normal? And did you try and get them to build on that?
No, I always talk to the players that we must believe what we are doing because the results are there. It was not a casualty or a fortune that we play in that way and we won so many games. I think I repeat a different way for the manager to talk with the player, but my way is that they must believe that it's not, as I just said, a fortune because you are playing that way. It's work.
But when you were managing Villarreal,
so many years ago.
I know, but it was it was a great achievement. But did there come a point in that season when the team realised it might win La Liga or it might win the Champions League, and did that make them nervous?
No, because it was a long period. We were 5 years in a row. The first year we arrived third in the league in Spain, but we have an option to play against. We play against Everton to play the Champions League, and we won them. The second year was the Champions League that we arrived to the semi-finals. You remember that penalty? That was the reason why we couldn't do it. The third season, we finished in the second position of the table, so it was another different motivation, always different motivation. The fifth year, the fourth year, we repeated quarter-final of Champions League, and the last year, I don't remember so many. But every season, we were demonstrating with different names, because we sold a lot of players also, that playing that way and working the way we can do it, we can play against everyone hand-to-hand.
Just continuing the Villarreal thing, did you get the same Leicester?
I don't have memory to remember so many years.
I just wonder what the Spanish footballing public felt about Villarreal. You know, over here, everyone's sort of wants Leicester to do well. Maybe not above their own team, but they want them to do well, and they're a breath of fresh air. Were Villarreal regarded like that, particularly that season when you split Real Madrid and Barcelona? Were they popular, basically?
Well, I remember a lot of things in those seasons. It was a long period. But first of all, that we play against Manchester United and we draw 4 games 0-0. So we defend very well also in Villarreal against Van Nistelrooy, against Rooney, against Cristiano Ronaldo, against Giggs, against important Scholes, Paul Scholes, a lot of players. Well, we beat them in the group of champions. But I think that I answer what about think about that. I think that it's important for the player to believe what they are doing, and the only way to believe is with results. And Leicester are having the result that they deserve.
Manuel, this is a season where probably at least 2 of the 3 established giants of the English game won't make it into the Champions League. I'm thinking United, Chelsea, Liverpool. What kind of an impact could this season have going forward for English football?
Well, I think that for that analysis, we must finish the season. We are playing just to put to the 3 parts of the season. We need the last 14 games to have an analysis about that. But I think that all the teams must be focused in thinking what will happen in this moment.
You see, like Leicester and Tottenham, though, in that top 4, it must be frightening for those other clubs.
No, I think it's very good for the Premier League. And I hope probably next year another teams will be also involved in the fight for the title, because here in England now all the team has a lot of money to spend and all of them have very good players. So after that you must make the motivation to do it and the performance of the player. But I think that it's important for the Premier League that not just Leicester and Tottenham, other teams also can do it.
So you think this is a sign for the future?
I think so.
This is no one-off?
Yes, I think so. I think so because the big teams or the teams that are not the big team will continue trying to bring the best players. But I think that other teams can bring different players, but all of them are very good players. And we are seeing this season that maybe for some media was strange. For me, it's the best season because we have so small difference between one team and the other one that every game is a final.
Oh, well, do you think there's any chance we may still see you in the Premier League next year?
Me?
Yes, you.
I will answer the same. I will give you the same answer about I said for the future. I'm just thinking to win Leicester.
And could I just ask you what are you actually saying to the FA about this FA Cup tie? What is your argument to the FA about trying to get it played on the Saturday?
Well, it's very easy. We have to play Champions League on Wednesday. We have to travel to Ukraine on Monday. There's no reason why we cannot play on Saturday because Chelsea will rest 4 days, exactly the days that we want to rest before we play with Dinamo. I don't know the reason why we have to play on Sunday in the afternoon, but maybe they have the reason. But my duty is to do for this team what I think is better. And if we play on Sunday, I think it's better not to play with the professional players.
You've never played a weak team in the FA Cup before. You normally play quite a strong team. Would that upset you if you had to make that decision?
Of course. But I think for me, my way of act is to try to play in every competition with the best team. I think that this is a serious competition and not a competition that you can throw it away. But in this moment, with so many injured players, having the Champions League near, and chances to try to arrive to quarterfinal for the first time, I think that in this case we are going to prioritize. It's not the way I wanted to do it, but we need to prioritize one competition.
And do you think final question, do you think there's any hope at all that the FA may change their mind?
I don't know because I don't work in the FA Cup. We just sent them our reason why we don't want to play on Sunday.
Do you think tomorrow, Manuel, will come down to Aguero versus Vardy, or is that a bit simplistic?
No, I think that Leicester is a very good team where Vardy is scoring a lot of goals and it's a very good performance. Same for Manchester City, a very good team that we are lucky to play with Aguero. But I don't think that will be a game for those two players because you cannot, as a player, win the game alone. You need all your partners.
But if it did come down to just a couple of chances, you'd back your man?
Sorry?
If it did come down to a couple of chances either side, you'd always back your man to be as good as anybody, Aguero?
Well, I repeat what I said from Kuhn a lot of games ago. And the way he can play 100% fit, he's improving in every game his performance. I hope that if we can have it from now till the end of the season, will be very good for the team.
Manuel, do you feel like you have an emotional connection with Manchester City, or is this for you? Is it more of a kind of a business relationship? Is it a job that you're doing?
No, I think that I work here for 2 years and a half, trying, as I just said, to play an attractive football, to try to improve what the club did the other years. That I think that the fans enjoy with that. I am very happy. The club is happy with me, but this is a job, and you have to think about other things also.
Manuel,
Where? Which one? Which micro? Here?
Sorry, Manuel, just on the FA Cup again. Do you not think it's strange that the authorities in England would try and help one of their own clubs as best as possible? So if you have to play on a Sunday, it's damaging for the Champions League for you. But equally, you know, in terms of playing in the FA Cup, if you have to play a weaker team, that's also not good for the FA Cup. For you, is it just strange and inexplicable that they would not let you play on Saturday?
Well, not strange, because I don't want to analyze why we are going to play on Sunday. But I don't want to think that the FA Cup wants to give more option to one team to the other one, because it's not my way of thinking. I don't think that anyone that works in football must think in that way. But if for different reasons they think that we must play on Sunday for TV rights, for a lot of things, they have, I suppose that they have the important reason to do it. But we have also important reason why I just said which team we are going to play.
Manuel, would you support Chelsea if it was the other way around, if they wanted to change the day of the cup tie?
I don't know what Chelsea is thinking about that, but I am sure that if they had to play on Saturday, they have any argument why not to do it, because they play 4 days before the Premier League, and after that they don't have any game in the midweek. So for them, it's a normal day to play on Saturday.
So you would like to think they would support your reasons for wanting to change it?
I suppose. I don't know, because I don't know what Chelsea is thinking. But if one club asks for our team to play that day, of course, I personally, I don't have any problem to do it.
Manuel, el mérito del Leicester es colectivo, como acabas de decir, pero llega Vardy al Etihad y ahora mismo tú como entrenador, ¿qué temes más a Vardy y cómo crees que hay que defenderlo? ¿Cuál es su punto fuerte y cómo dirías que habría que defenderlo?
No, primero lo mejor es no pensar que Vardy es Leicester, porque puede marcar a Vardy muy bien y te puede aparecer Mahrez o Albrighton o Ulloa si juega, o Drinkwater, muchos jugadores que tienen de categoría, así que no creo que centrarse en un jugador sea lo correcto. Yo creo que hay que tratar de ver cuál es la mejor manera de jugar contra Leicester, pero sin olvidarse nunca que la prioridad la va a tener la manera como juega nuestro equipo, y vamos a hacer siempre el mismo equipo con la misma intención de ir a buscar siempre la portería contraria.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.